Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's in your rest stand. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders Hill. I bumped my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers. The Rager Young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius sling him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link, like and subscribe to the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. In the building today with a very special guest. She's back again. It's Ruth the Truth. How you doing today, Ruth? Oh.
It was tough to survive through that whole intro that you had going on with all the Bird Gang talk, being a Cowboys fan and being here in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers area. We're sorry that we had to shut you guys down early in the playoffs, but let's be honest. Did you guys even really deserve to be there? I don't know. I think that's up for debate, but thanks for having me back on the show.
Did we deserve to be there? Yes. Did we have a team to be there? No. That's how we're going to answer that one. But it's always good having you on here, man. Anytime I get a chance to get you on, you know I do. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Make sure you guys are hitting that like on the way in. Shout out to CG Ruthless in the building. What up, my guy? Niners content creator. Make sure you guys get out there and subscribe to my guy. And Jinx Wolf, how you doing? So let's get to it, man. The off season's here. It's getting kind of busy now. You know, moves have been made on all sides. You know what I'm saying? Let's start out with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you like the fact that Mr. 45-year-old man is coming back again for another season? How you like that?
I love it. I think it's outstanding. I had a feeling it was going to happen when he first made the announcement about his retirement on Instagram. I knew that it was too soon to tell. I said, Brady, kind of just let it seep in just for a bit. You know, you gotta visualize yourself, what you're doing after football. And I just kind of feel like he made that decision a little too quick. And maybe it was just to get the media people off of his back. You know, he's in the off season. It was a tough loss for them in the second round against the Rams. And he just wanted to decompress and kind of absorb the whole season and take it from there. So I had a really good gut feeling that it wasn't going to be official. Obviously, he still had a year left on his contract as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So it was going to be June 2nd where the paperwork was going to be finalized about his retirement. And that day was slowly approaching. I said, this is too much time for Brady to think about this. We're in the month of March right now. So I'm ecstatic about it happening. I think it definitely brings the Bucs relevance again, because as soon as Brady announced this retirement, everybody's like, well, back to the playoff appearances for you guys. So so definitely keeping us in the Super Bowl conversation, but it will be interesting what Jason Light can cook up in the offseason to put those weapons around Brady so we can continue to have success, because Brady can't throw the ball to himself. So there's a lot of voids to fill. There's a lot of positions. There's a lot of O-line protection that's going to need to adjust to make sure that Brady's last season is comfortable. But it's hard to even say that. Last season, who knows at this point?
Right? The way he's going, he's trying to play to 50.
45 years old, like, come on. Like, maybe when he dropped that joke to Giselle on that crypto commercial that they had when he was like, honey, we've already talked about it. I'm playing for another 10 years. Maybe he was being serious. Who knows? This TB12 diet has been a testament to his health. And I mean, last season after the Super Bowl, we were talking about Brady having needing surgery to clean up an MCL in his right leg. And we haven't had any conversations about him being unhealthy in this offseason. So I think he's pretty much at that point where I'm going to play as long as my body will let me. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, man. But you're talking about these weapons. I see that you guys signed Justin Gage, and you guys also brought back Godwin. How do you feel about those moves?
I'm ecstatic that Chris Godwin is coming back. I felt like he deserved a long-term deal with the Buccaneers after the standards that he set last season. It was unfortunate that he went down during that home matchup against the New Orleans Saints. It was a dirty hit, but we won't go there. But a franchise tag for the second time in a row, like that's tough to swallow. But I understand where Jason Light and the organization are coming from, because who knows how he's going to return after this knee injury. I believe it was an MCL. So he had surgery afterwards, and it's going to be a long recovery. So I think the franchise tag was just smart for them to make sure that nobody else got their hands on Chris Godwin. But I'm sniffing out a long-term deal coming in the near future for Godwin.
Yeah, and what about Justin Gage? You see that's been an upgrade. No Antonio Brown. Now you got Justin Gage there. So you're going to be able to step it up.
Yeah, are we talking about the wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons and Russell Gage? Man, I saw him tear it up against us a few times during the season, and it wasn't all about Kyle Pitts, the tight end for Atlanta. I mean, Russell Gage was taking a lot of those possessions, so I think it's great. Carlton Davis, we had an interview with him earlier today as he is re-signing with the Buccaneers for another 3 years. He talked about how he loves Russell Gage's game and how he's a great slot receiver and will be lethal for Tom Brady to use next season. So I'm happy about it. I'm over the Antonio Brown talks. We're looking on to the future. We're looking on to the next wide receiver that's going to step up to fill those spots. And I think Russell Gage is going to fit in perfectly with Byron Leftwich's offensive scheme.
Yeah, man. But you guys did lose a big one in Whitehead. Back there, the safety's gone. You know what I'm saying? How do you guys think you guys going to replace that guy?
I was very surprised that safety Jordan Whitehead decided to, was it the New York Jets? I believe he made the move to. I know that the safety Jordan Whitehead has been dealing with a lot of injuries. And I thought that, you know, he was kind of locked into the mentality of their defense with Todd Bowles here in Tampa. So big surprise that he decided to leave to the Jets. I wondered if he made this commitment before he found out that Brady was returning, because I feel like that might have been incentive for him to stick around here in the Bay. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to fill that void. But I mean, we have the draft coming up, so I'm hoping that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their front office are going to focus on defense, because we offensively, we weren't looking too out of shape last season. We were kind of very similar to what almost the exact weapons that we had in our Super Bowl run year in 2020. So I think right now it's time to focus on the defense. It's time to reload and make sure that we have some lockdown corners, lockdown safeties that are ready to tie into Todd Bowles' scheme next season.
Nice. And do you have any guys in particular that you're keeping your eye on, hoping the team draft?
Man, there's quite a few that I'm looking at. I'm loving the edge rusher from Purdue, George Kalifas. I love him. I think that he would make a great fit. And I'm really locked into our edge rushers when it comes to the draft. I love the pressure on the ball. I feel like Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford had proved the formula of how to win a Super Bowl. You need a quarterback that's willing to throw those long passes to get down the field. And then you need that edge rusher. You need those defensive pass rushers that are going to put defense on the quarter, or put pressure on the quarterback. So there's definitely some voids that we could fill in this upcoming draft. And I'm excited to see what the front office is going to be able to accomplish, because you saw them get Tristan Wirth in the 2020 draft. And that was hella successful for Brady and their Super Bowl run in 2020. So I'm hoping that they will learn from their mistakes from the past and not repeat history when it comes to only focusing on offensive players.
Nice. And before we get over to our division, I got one more for you. What about the two running backs? Fournette and
Can
Jones. Both of them are.
can we get Lenny? Come on, Leonard. Come on. You know you want
But
to
I
be
want him in
a
Philly.
long-term
I want him. I
Buccaneer.
need Howard to go call him up and to get him over here to Philly because I think
Yeah.
him and Miles Sanders will be great. But he hasn't made any decisions yet. What do you think is going to happen in that running back situation?
I think it's going to be either Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette. I'm definitely leaning more onto the Leonard Fournette side because we saw him be great in the regular season, and everybody was saying, "Oh, that's just playoff Lenny. He just shows up in the playoffs." But we saw him keep some consistency throughout the regular season as well. And I mean, he had 4 touchdowns against the Indianapolis Colts there on the road. So Lenny Fournette needs to make his return to Tampa Bay, and I'm hoping that the Brady returning and unretiring is going to be enticing for Leonard Fournette to sign a long-term deal. If you guys can get him on a 1-year contract and have some incentives, throw him a couple million, I think he'll be happy to stay in Tampa. I mean, the Tampa Bay, I mean, not only does Florida have those tax where, you know, they get to keep a lot more of their money here in the state of Florida, the no tax laws, but I mean, Tampa is just an amazing city to live in. So I don't think it will be too hard to you know, convince Leonard Fournette to have another run with the GOAT. But I mean, it's money talks, so we'll see what happens with the. But I'd rather, if we had to choose between Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, I'm leaning more on Leonard Fournette and his veteran experience to actually have a legitimate chance on a Super Bowl run this season.
Yeah, man. I hope that was so sad when Brady said he's coming back. I just knew all them players gonna be like, well, I guess I can come back another year. You know,
Yeah,
why
and
not? You
I'm
know, we got
hoping.
him here again. Let's stay and see if we can win another one, man. Because I
Yeah,
was
I'm
like,
hoping.
Brady's gone. Fournette's gonna be a free agent. He's gonna come to Philly. Let's do it. Let's go get him. And now I'm like, come on, Fournette. Just think about it. You know, young quarterback, old quarterback. Do you want the up and fresh, or do you want to stick around with Tom Brady a year,
He
which is
wants to be
hard
with
to
the
not.
team that's going to put him in the best position to win another chip. So you know that Brady, you know, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kind of have that upper hand over the Philadelphia Eagles. Not to talk down on Jalen Hurts and what they have going on with Nick Sirianni as head coach. I think their teams, their players are really bought into the system when it comes to their new head coach. So I'm saying that the Eagles will probably make the playoffs coming next season. We'll see how far that they can get. But yeah, I think it's crazy that Jason Light, his job overnight just got a hell of a lot easier with Brady deciding to return, because there was rumors that they were trying to make offers for Deshaun Watson, and that was giving me a heart attack on its own, because I do not want to deal with Deshaun Watson and all the baggage legally that comes with that. So, I mean, there are talks that Deshaun Watson is entertaining ideas of going to Atlanta. I think it would be great for him to come to the NFC
Perfect
South.
place
So
for him to go.
Tom Brady could really show him how it's done, and for him to actually have a competitor in that same division. But we shall see. Free agency, it's crazy right now. You never want to make early predictions when it comes to teams right now, because nobody knows what it's going to look like when it comes August and training camp is around the corner.
Yeah. Now let's get off of the Tampa Bay. Forget your work side. Let's go to your fan side. You are a Cowboys fan. And now we're going to talk about some NFC East talk here. You know, the Cowboys, what is going on with the team? You know what I'm saying? I see that you guys have let Randy Gregory walk. You know, like he's gone out of there. He snuck bait you guys and took off. And he got a lot of other players, you know, doing their own things over there. What's going on in Jerry's world?
Mr. Peterson, good question, because I don't even understand. There was a meme that I saw this morning of Jerry Jones being released by the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, it was a joke, but it kind of gave me like a realization that if we really do make a change like that, we might actually have, you know, some change in the organization, because the same owner for so long, you already know how that goes. The Randy Gregory thing was kind of a slap in the face. I wasn't seeing that coming. I know that you saw me post on my Instagram that, you know, the Dallas Cowboys have some success in the offseason, starting off with re-signing Randy Gregory and miss of Amari Cooper deciding to walk. That got me so excited because Randy Gregory was outstanding defensively. I mean, can we at least admit that the Dallas Cowboys made a whole 180 compared to the defense that they had the year before? And Randy Gregory and D-Law being healthy had a lot to do with that. So I'm going to miss Randy Gregory and his twitchy pass rushing abilities and how he puts pressure on the quarterback. And we saw him, you know, actually sack the quarterback and get the ball loose. And that's something that you really need when it comes to a pass rusher. So Randy, that hurt. I really want to understand what the language of the contract was. I'm not really understanding the terms in which you decided to pull an okey doke on Jerry Jones, but big slap in the face. But there's been a lot of conversations about maybe Dallas making a pull for Von Miller, who we saw just win a championship with the Los Angeles Rams. It doesn't seem like the Rams are making too much effort to re-sign Von Miller for an extension. So that would be a great substitute for missing out on Randy Gregory. But we still have DeMarcus Lawrence there to put pressure on the quarterback, and we still have the draft coming up. And you saw how successful their draft pick last season was with Micah Parsons, who was in conversation of Defensive Player of the Year, playing the edge rusher all over the place. So we'll see how that defensive line is going to shake out after free agency.
Yeah, and then you guys still got some more free agents too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you see this happening? I know they re-signed. They re-signed D-Law, right?
Yep, they got Michael Gallup back.
They got Michael Gallup
back,
and then Cedric Wilson, right?
Cedric Wilson actually signed a deal with the Miami Dolphins, so he is.
Oh yeah, he left too. He left.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
You guys got Gallup back, but you didn't get Cedric Wilson, and you traded Coop. Tell me how you feel about Coop not being there.
I think Amari was starting to fizzle out offensively when it came to his abilities with the offensive scheme that, Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott were cooking up. I don't know. We saw him have like a serious decline, and there was just, if we're paying you $15 million a year, can you, have 1,100 passing yards in one season? Can you score more than 6 touchdowns throughout the 17 games that we played? I'm not too hurt about Amari Cooper leaving because we have CeeDee Lamb, who is coming into his own as well. I really think he's going to do great as that wide receiver 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, a big blow offensively. But there was rumors that him and Dak Prescott got into some type of verbal altercation after the loss against the 49ers in the playoffs. So, I mean, you don't want toxicity being in the locker room. We all saw how that went down with Antonio Brown with the Buccaneers. So if it's time to cut ties, maybe, he's going to Cleveland. I don't know what's going to happen with the Cleveland Browns with their conversation with Baker Mayfield, who's going to be slinging the pigskin coming the next season. It'll be interesting. I'm hoping for the best for Amari, though, for sure. No hard feelings.
Do you agree what he says? He called him the Black Kirk Cousins.
I knew you were going to say that.
Put up the numbers, but you ain't winning nothing, my guy. Put up the numbers, you ain't winning nothing.
Right. I guess he's trying to say that Dak Prescott has taken all the money, but not having the productivity that they need offensively on the field. I kind of get that. I see where he's coming from. Did he go a little too far with the Kirk Cousins reference? Just a little bit. Just a little bit, just a smidge, because, I mean, we did beat Kirk Cousins with our backup quarterback throughout in the regular season with ease. So I don't know. I think Amari maybe just was needing a fresh start somewhere else, and Dallas just wasn't the place for him to continue his career. So do I think he should have said that to Dak? No. I hope Dak stood up for himself and stood his ground and let him know that ain't the truth, but we shall see how that's going to pan out in that locker room.
So what do you want to see the Cowboys do this draft pick?
I want to see them get some more defensive players. Like I said, the edge rushers, those defensive ends are probably the most important roles. I would love to see them maybe pick up a safety as well. And, maybe towards the 6th round, you grab a wide receiver, you try to snag somebody that might be left behind. But I think defense is going to be the way to go in this coming draft.
You think Zeke's going to pick his game back up?
Ezekiel Elliott, if you do not, there's no excuses for it. There's absolutely no excuses for how Ezekiel Elliott has fizzled out throughout the seasons. I mean, we have Tony Pollard that's going to probably be our running back 1 going into next season, and I'm not even mad about that because he's been proving that he could extend those plays, and when he finds those open gaps, he's completely out of there. So, man, there's a lot to say about Elliott. There's a lot to unpeel there, but I mean, we're paying you the money. We gave you the bag, so it's time to step up. And if you're not going to step up, let's step out and maybe try to get some trade value for Ezekiel Elliott. But I have a feeling that Jerry Jones is going to have a hard time swallowing that pill of admitting
Oh yeah.
that maybe he was wrong about giving Zeke this long-term deal, because I mean, these running backs can never stay consistent year in and year out. So to give him a 5-year extension the way that they did with all the money that they did was might have been jumping the gun a little bit. And, he might be kind of having some second thoughts about that. But Zeke, if you want to be rated above 95 on Madden, you got to prove it on the field with your productivity. And we have not been seeing that. I hope that you could be healthy and stay healthy throughout the regular season. And with some sprucing up on the offensive line, maybe we can make him be that 2018 Zeke that we all miss.
Yeah, man, Zeke. Because he was a beast, and like he had some moments last year where he was showing the old Zeke coming back again. Like you said, Pollard's definitely taken over the role. He was game in, game out, making plays for you guys, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Because I know a lot of Cowboy fans like we just got two. Zeke's always gonna be number one, but I do hear the chirping of maybe making Pollard number one. Zeke can be the fill-in guy. So it's great to see that people see that on two different sides of the spectrum. So we got an old quarterback. We both know him well. His name is Mr. Wentz. Commander Wentz is in the building, back in the NFC East. What do you think about that? First off,
I didn't think that the Indianapolis Colts were going to move on from Carson after one season. They did win 11 games in the regular season. He didn't get an opportunity to play in the playoffs. And I think I feel bad for Carson that he made his way back to the NFC East, but does he make it a little bit more competitive than he did than the year before than Taylor Heineke? Probably. I mean,
yeah.
Carson did lead the Philadelphia Eagles to that Super Bowl run. Without Carson, you guys wouldn't have had Nick Foles win it all against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But it'll be some nice competition here in the NFC East, but I still to this day will always say that Dak Prescott is 10 times the quarterback than Carson Wentz will ever be. But we'll see how that shapes up in with the Washington Commanders. I mean, they have some offensive weapons there too. They have a great running game, as well as their wide receiver core is pretty legit. So I'm thinking that Carson Wentz might have that opportunity to, I guess, regain his status in the NFL. But if it doesn't work out with the Commanders, I don't know if he's going to continue to be a QB1 in the league.
Yeah, man, this is last stand. Carson's last stand. Because I really think, I know there's people optimistic. Is he better than Taylor Heineke? Yes. He's a better quarterback. But with Carson, his problem isn't really his gameplay as much as his mental side of it. You know what I'm saying? And how would you feel? You get the bag in Philadelphia. You have another down season. They draft a quarterback. They trade you. Over to the guy that's supposed to fix you, right? And
I feel like the Indianapolis Colts put so much on the line for Carson as well. I mean, they had to give up some draft picks. Like there was a lot that tied into, Frank Reich kind of put all of his, all of his peas in one pod when it came to Carson. And I don't know if it panned out for him or what they're going to do now, because the quarterback position is so tough to fill, and you're not going to be in Super Bowl conversation if you don't have a quarterback that's going to throw 35 throws a game and at least have a completion rating of at least 60 and above. So I'm really interested in seeing what the Indianapolis Colts are going to do. I saw that they had made a request to interview Deshaun Watson, but the Houston Texans were like, we're not trading Watson to our same division. Are you guys crazy?
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see where the Colts are going to go from here. I mean, maybe they could unretire Phillip Rivers. Who knows?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I said, he's just finished getting back. I think his mental frame might not be the same enough coming into here. You know what I'm saying? He looked happy in this little post he did, but of course he's going to look happy, But like you said, this is your last chance, my guy. No one else is going to give you another chance if you don't come light it up here. But the guy.
But then we kind of said that about Mitchell Trubisky, and didn't Trubisky just get a position over here with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, I guess never say never, right?
Is he going to be the starter over there?
Who knows? He's going to be competing with Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. I mean, he's got a pretty good chance to prove that he could be QB1 there in Pittsburgh, but we'll see.
And that Watson thing's kind of like, I heard that they're sending him to Atlanta to send Matt Ryan to the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard that was
like that fit.
They were looking at sending Matty Ice over to the Colts, and then they get they get Deshaun Watson,
Yeah,
which would
I
be
mean
cool. Like I said, as long as he's not in our division.
Anybody that ends up with the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, you guys are set for success. You have a great run game. You have an outstanding defense. I mean, it was a shame that they only had 11 games winning in the regular season, but I think the Colts are that team that is just a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender.
Big Simba, we talking about your quarterback, Commander Wentz on duty, my guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
it's
does
gonna
the
be great to
audience
see.
think about Carson Wentz making a move to Washington to be with the Washington Commanders and their all their hubbub with Dan Snyder? The list goes on and on when it comes to their problems.
How do you see? How do you feel about Hassan Reddick coming to the Eagles? Do you think that's going to make a defensive change? He is a lot younger. He's definitely had 23 sacks over the last 2 years. He's bringing some youth to that defensive line that needed some help because our pass rush kind of lacked thereof last year. Do you think he's going to be a big impact player for us?
I mean, you did mention that he's a young talent, but I mean, that linebacker position is so essential when it comes to the NFL and playing great defense. So I think it's a great move. I mean, you being a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I know that you were kind of excited because this guy has some great athleticism. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
know how you feel, how he's going to fit into that defensive scheme that you guys have cooking up.
We run a lot of the 5-2-2, where we have that linebacker, the Russian linebacker, and ever since they made Hassan Reddick, strictly a premier pass rusher, he's been producing. He's been getting quarterback sacks, he's been getting quarterback pressures, and I believe we had Avery play that position last year for us, and I'm pretty sure we're not re-signing him. So to have him slide right in there and actually be a good, legit player there as opposed to a guy that we're hoping to do good things about. He's legit. He's proven. He's done it back-to-back years where, you don't have to guess about this guy. Just put him out there on the outside, let him get after the quarterback. It's kind of a DN, linebacker role, but I still feel like we need to upgrade the linebacker position via draft or even getting like a guy like Campbell from the Packers or, like I said, my dream scenario, which Howie probably would never do this because the Eagles don't draft linebackers, would be to get like either Dean and Lloyd in the first round at linebacker, then go in second round, get Christian Harris, like get two linebackers early in the draft, let these young guys grow together, let these guys get in here. They're bona fide studs. All three of those backers, I feel like are going to be stars in the NFL this year. So let's get two of them, bring them to the squad, fill up, you don't have to use all two of them in the first round, but get one in the first, one in the second, and then fill out the D line with the other two picks, or get a receiver or something like that to help us out. So I really think it's a good first step in terms of fixing our linebacker position because the people don't realize that was our weakest link last year. Those linebackers sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eagles like to say, we like to give kudos to certain linebackers doing good. Oh, Singleton got a lot of tackles. TJ Edwards, you know what I'm saying? He's so good. He's not really that good when you compare him to the other 32 teams in their linebackers. He was good to be an Eagle, but he wasn't really good compared to like the top flight linebackers. We need to fill that position. That's been a position of need for the last couple of seasons, for a long time, really since we had Jeremiah Trotter days. We ain't had no solid, real middle linebacker that can take control of a game. We need that. If you look at all the good defenses out there, they have them. I wouldn't mind even going to go take a shot at Anthony Barr, see if he can rejuvenate his career with us. But we need those proven guys. Stop using all these draft picks on third and fourth round linebackers, hoping them to be stars. Like, you're going to have to spend a first round pick and maybe even two, or at least a second in the first to, replenish the position and get some real talent there. See what
So are
happened with
you
you
saying
guys.
you
You
guys
guys got
have
Michael Parsons, and then all of a sudden your defense looked good again with one guy. You know
all
what
of
I'm
a
saying?
sudden, out of nowhere, Dane Quinn and Micah Parsons, and look at what happened.
Yeah.
It's outstanding. I'm here for it. But I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles do have 3 first-round picks, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the
Yes.
16th, 17th, and the 19th. So
15,
definitely
16, and 19.
15th, 16th, and 19th. So, I mean, you guys have, I think, the most out of the first round. So, definitely
Mm-hmm.
your opportunity to fill those voids that you just spoke over. And the linebacker position is something that's going to be crucial. But, I mean, would you rather get a rookie or would you rather trade this first round pick, maybe one of the first round picks, to get somebody that's already established in the league?
Well, that's a good question. Who's coming? Who you talking about giving a first round pick for? Because I feel like this year, like this is the year like the Eagles really need to do it. Like if you're gonna rebuild a team, this is time to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And we have the ammo, you know, we still got a little bit of cap space if we want to go sign somebody, you know, we still got the ammo to trade for somebody, but there's not that many. You know, I don't see too many star linebackers looking to leave their team. You know, we missed out on the Khalil Mack type guys. You know what I'm saying? He's already got a new home. And it's like, you got Bobby Wagner out there, but do you really want to get Bobby Wagner? You know, he's kind of old. You know, he's at the tail end of his career. So it's like, I'm not sure if I want to go invest money in another older cat. You know, if we were to trade for a guy like, you know, who Patrick Queen or something like that, some young cat, or go to Tampa Bay, get one of your two linebackers, you know, bring over here. That'll be something different, you know. So it looks you like, don't say that. Like that would be something different. That'll be a game changing move. Get a stud, get a star. Someone's ready to plug and play, and you don't have to worry about the position no more. That's how I feel. But like I said, this draft have some really stud linebackers in it. Like I feel like this draft is really heavy in positions that we need. Linebacker, DN, DT, safety, receiver. Like you can go 2-3 rounds in and get a quality guy to come in here. But like I said, like he definitely needs to come in and do it. You know, like Riddick was the first piece, but I feel like we need all three of them replaced. You know, we need Riddick replace one. Now we need two more linebackers to replace. We already re-signed TJ Edwards, so he can be that rotational back to come in and fill the void for people, you know, when they get tired or whatnot. Because I think he's a good football player. He's just not elite. We need an elite linebacker back there in that middle. Like that's why I said Nakobe Dean. You know, he was a linebacker of the year in college. His team won the national championship. You know, you can plug and play him in the middle there, and he'll look good right off the jump. And then Christian Harris from Alabama. They're both, you know, championship caliber freaking linebackers that you can throw in there and let them do their thing.
Yeah, just roll the dice and hope you get a Parsons. But there has been sources that have been alluding to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not re-signing JPP, who could be a good fit for Philadelphia, as well as Dominican Sue. So if you're looking for that defensive edge rusher and that defensive tackle, those are some names that you should look out for when it comes to. I mean, the Bucs aren't going to be able to re-sign everybody. Somehow they were able to accomplish that after their Super Bowl run. But this year, it's already looking like it's not happening. So there's a lot of key pieces and a lot of Super Bowl caliber players that are going to be on the chopping block for the Bucs. So if I was the Eagles organization, I would definitely be keeping an eye on those two players.
What about JPP for the Cowboys? You think he can replace Randy Gregory over there? Because with JPP, I'm like older. You know, like
I've kind of started to lose a little bit of faith when it comes to JPP and how he could stay healthy and consistently healthy throughout the season. He just wasn't the same this year. And I mean, it would be great. It would be definitely some veteran presence, a big voice to have on that defensive side of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm not going to say that they should, you know, pull out all the stocks to sign somebody like JPP.
Yeah. Me too. And Sue's kind of older up there. Like I said, this year draft, we didn't have 3 first-round picks. I'd be like, yeah, go grab one of these guys, you know, bring them in. But with the 3, like I said, you got guys like Jordan Davis, that's 360-pound grown boy that's freaking running 4.8 40s. You know what I'm saying? I never even seen a guy that big run that fast before in my life. You know, you're talking about Fletcher Cox might be leaving next year. Like, that's a perfect guy to go ahead and get now. Let him groom a year under Fletch. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back. But we also got some young talent on that line, too. You know, we had a Johnson, rookie from last year that we came in, played some good snaps. Milton Williams over there played some good snaps last year. Look for these guys to make their jump from year 1 to year 2. I can see them, you know, if they make that jump, you know, we got a pretty young and active defensive line. You know, Barnett's probably going to be out of there, but we just paid Sweat. So Sweat's pretty good. You know, we wouldn't have gave him the bag if he wasn't going to come out there and produce. He had 8 sacks this year. You know, you look for that number to continue to grow every year that he's in the league. You know, so like we have some young talent there on that D line that I think if they make the jump from year 1 to year 2, we really won't have to worry about that too much. But like you said, Hassan Ritter adding to that patch with Brandon Graham coming back. How good is he going to be? You know what I'm saying? He's kind of old for Achilles tear, you know, like is he going to come back and be the same Brandon Graham, you know, to get you that 8 to 10 sacks? Or is he going to come back, you know, be a force in that run game? Or is he going to come back injured? Whereas like, you know, all his numbers drop. So everybody's hoping for the best, obviously, with him. Could BG's a leader on our team. But I really feel like, you know, we got some young pieces. We only need, and that defensive line, I feel like everybody wants us to go first round. get a defensive tackle, get a defensive end off the jump. But I feel like it's not as crucial as everybody think it is with these young guys coming back, because you got them back there. Like, what are they going to do? You keep them as rotational players, or are you going to let these guys, earn a spot? 'Cause sometimes you just got to give them that shot to, get in there and make their mark on the league. And I think we got some nice young pieces that can do that. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that one works out. Like I
So
said,
I was on another Philadelphia podcast last night, and he was mentioning their wide receivers. He said Jalen Hurts has no wide receivers. He has nobody to throw it to. And I was like, what about Jalen Rager? And he got kind of upset that I even mentioned that. And I saw that you guys also signed Greg Ward, who you guys had for, I believe, 4 seasons already. So do you really think that they're making it a point to surround Jalen Hurts with some offensive weapons for him to put some points on the board? Are they going to depend on his physicality and to extend those third downs and to be a lethal threat in the red zone?
I really think we need some receivers. Like, I agree with him 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to JC Sports Talk, my guy. Man, you look at Devontae Smith. The difference from Devontae Smith, you've seen a lot of good rookie receivers make their mark last year, right? You've seen the Chase, Jamar Chase go out there and ball out, all pro first year. You see Devontae Smith break the rookie record. Waddle over there in Miami tore it up. But the difference between Waddle and Chase is they didn't have to come into a situation and be the number one guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they came in, they were already well-established receivers over there that did their thing. You know what I'm saying? They just came in, fit in where they fit in. And then as the year progressed, they produced more and more and more. Devontae came in, he was number one, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the guy. You the guy straight off the jump, but he had a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? And there's no one that coming in as a rookie and that's going to just destroy everybody by himself. And I think that's what it was. You've seen a lot of games where Devontae wasn't getting off the doubles very, very well. He doesn't understand, too. He gets wide open. His route running's spectacular, but there's still times where you got to find that soft zone. Get in there, sit in there, get the ball, like veteran moves. You know what I'm saying? Veterans know that's the pass route I'm supposed to take, but I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to, bring it in. I'm going to sit back, do different things, to help the quarterback out. And I think Devontae will continue to get better and better, but we definitely need more. Quez Watkins, another young guy out there, what I'm saying? He made his mark last year. And yes, a lot of people say he was open a lot and Jalen didn't get it to him. But I've also seen Quez too. He's not polished. We need to go get a polished receiver, a veteran receiver that, can either, the Allen Robinsons of the world or.
That was a name that he also dropped. Did you also see that the Tennessee Titans decided to release wide receiver Julio Jones, and he's going to be hitting free agency as well? Do you think that Julio Jones will have another opportunity in the NFL to be wide receiver 1 for somebody in the league? And do you think the Eagles will make a run for Julio Jones? I mean, if you're talking about having that veteran presence, I mean, Julio has stats that are up there with Antonio Brown and the great wide receivers that we've seen throughout the years. So do you think he could, regain his respect in the NFL? Because, I mean, he didn't do much for Tennessee. He was barely there throughout the season. He was dealing with, I think, a hamstring that's kind of been his kryptonite for the last couple seasons.
Yeah, Julio's another guy, man. He's hurt too much. As much as a talent as he is, do I think he'll ever be a number one again? No. Yeah. Because who's going to trust him? Who's going to give him number one money for the first off part? I can see why, Tennessee was done with him. He didn't play most of the whole season. He was out, hamstring.
And there was so much talk about him being so frustrated with the Falcons, him wanting to regain his respect in Tennessee, and it kind of fizzled out pretty quick because I think it was like the 3rd or 4th week he was already out with injuries.
Mm-hmm. And then you look at his last year with Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He got hurt that year. He's at a point where he's consistently getting hurt, which is going to be a detriment for him being a number one receiver anymore. Mm-hmm. Would I take Julio? It would have to be on a cheap deal. I wouldn't give him no bag.
Incentives, maybe like 1 point.
You can get a $3 million contract with incentives that can make it a $9-10 million contract if you stay healthy, because that's the big if right now. Like, he hasn't stayed healthy consistently back-to-back years. He needs to get better at as whatever he's doing in the offseason is not working, because he's a big physical guy. Maybe you need to take some yoga classes, get more stretching into your routine or whatnot, because you keep getting hurt, my guy, and he's getting older too. So every year you're in, the more that's going to happen. So Julio Jones, it would be a good piece on a team friendly type deal to just come in here, mentor Devontae Smith, help him out, because I think he could help out. They're both from Alabama. They have like a same alumni, they have some good rapport there. So yeah, I wouldn't be like all in for him. If we got him, it would be a good thing, But like I said, this receiving core right now that's coming out of the draft, that's another lit one. You know what I'm saying? We got some nice receivers coming out. My boy from USC, Drake London, I think that would be the perfect guy to pair up with Devontae Smith because, this is a 6'5", 4'4", 40 guy that weighs 210, that best pass route runner in the college football, I think. A lot of people put Olave and Wilson and all these guys ahead of him, but I'm like, dude, the guy had the same amount of stats in 6 games as opposed to their whole season. They played the whole season. He missed like 5 games last year, with that ankle injury. And yes, you worry about that getting better, but he's young. I think he's going to come back and bounce back from that easily. So, I look for a guy like Drake London who's going to be kind of like if he slipped past, maybe get to that 19th spot, go ahead and get Drake, man. He's just snatch him up, run that card up there right now, because now you got the big body receiver. We got a lot of fast receivers. We got a lot of short, fast, stocky receivers to do that inside, outside stuff. But Drake can play all 3 positions on the receiving core, and I think he'll definitely add to our receiving core.
Yeah, I mean, these NFL teams, they know that they can't depend on the NFL draft to, have a Super Bowl run the following year. It takes a little while for these rookies to get accustomed to playing at a collegiate level and then going for the pros. So I know that they don't really look for their answers into the draft, but it is good to have at least an offensive weapon that you think is going to at least have some type of positive impact on your offense right away.
Yeah, and you need those big guys for us. Like I said, like 6'5", you can't coach.
That's a big boy.
6'5". You know what I'm saying? That radius that you got, the catch radius. You look at Justin Herbert over there and on Charger land. Those guys are all like 6'2" to 6'6". You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are big monsters running down the field. Herbert just literally throws the ball high. That's what you got to do. Most cornerbacks are 6 foot tall. You don't got too many of them that are starters that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". You know what I'm saying? Usually they're 6 foot, 6'1". That's where your best corners coming out at. So when you got a guy going against that 6'5", 6'6", it's like you're just playing catch with them. You know what I'm saying? That's why Herbert's numbers are so great over there, I believe. And I watched a couple of games last year where Herbert, every pass, these guys are fully covered, but Herbert just throws high, and these guys are like this. Boop, thank you. Boop, touchdown. Boop, touchdown. That's something you can't coach against. That's something you can't stop, really. If your cornerback's not 6'6", he's not stopping that all day, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's going to stop that. So I think that's why I really see, if you don't like the Drake, and, I know there's people out there that don't like Drake. They like Burke better. I guess he's 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Like, Burke from Arkansas. Go get him then. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of big guys coming out of this draft that I think can really help the receiving core for Philadelphia.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see what these draft prospects, pan out, what teams they pan out to go to. And I'm excited to see what Philadelphia can do with those 3 picks in the first round. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what's up. It's going to be really nice to see the Eagles really take advantage of this. Howie can't mess this up. Everybody's worried. That's like the biggest fear. It's like knowing that you have a GM that have messed up before. You're just praying, please, Howie, get this right this time. Please get it right. And with the money you got and the draft capital you got, when you got 6 players in the top 60, you should get 4 starters. You know what I'm saying? 4 starter caliber players. So hopefully he does what he has to do. And I'm rooting for him. I think Howie's been making better moves over the last 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? He's gotten a little better at his job. So hopefully that continues that trend. We got Reddick so far, but we're still all waiting for another move to come. Like, come on, Howie. Everybody else still making moves. We're not doing nothing. Don't get stuck there in the middle, not making moves, and everybody else gets snatched up. But how'd you feel about the Russell Wilson thing going to Denver?
Okay, so Seattle just seems to be peeling apart at the seams. There was a lot of talk about Russell Wilson being very unhappy with his offensive line, and people thought he was going to be on the move last season, but he stuck around for another season. They didn't make much happen this season, so Russell deciding to make a move to Denver, I think, is big. I think Jason Light, as well as the Rams organization, kind of showed the NFL that if you have a great defense, if you have a great run scheme, if you have a good special teams, and you're just missing that quarterback play, do not hesitate to put out the bag for that quarterback that will make the adjustment and make things magical as soon as they arrive. We saw that happen with Tom Brady with the Bucks. We saw that happen with Matthew Stafford leaving the Detroit Lions to come to the Rams to win the Super Bowl in his first season. So I think they've kind of written the blueprint of how to win a Super Bowl. So I think Russell Wilson is an outstanding talent. He's an elite talent. He's been in the league for what I believe 9 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, or was it 2014? I think he was drafted one of those seasons. And he's going to make a direct impact for them offensively. I think he has a pretty good run game with Denver. I think he has some offensive weapons surrounding him, and he finally has an offensive line that's going to give him more than 1.5 seconds to get rid of the ball. So I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson can do in Denver. I think he looks a lot better in orange and blue than Aaron Rodgers would have. That's for sure.
Right. Man, I really think it might be a mistake for him. You know, I really feel like he might be a mistake for Mr. Wilson. He's getting a little
an unpopular opinion, I will say, Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ride with it because listen, you just came from the toughest division in football, right? And I know I heard his press conference talking about, I want to play with the best, I want to beat the best to be the best type thing. But listen,
he was playing with the best. Like he was.
You were in the best.
Kyler Murray, he had Matthew Stafford, he had Jimmy Garoppolo.
You were the best division of football, and you came in 4th, my guy, last year. I know you got hurt a little bit, but you still came in 4th. Now you're going to another division that's stacked. You got young bloods over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got these studs over there. You got Herbert over there in those Chargers. You see them upgrade their defense to you got Mack and Bosa now going after you all season long. I mean, 2 times a year. You know what I'm saying? You got Kansas City's Chiefs. They don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. The Raiders looking good. They're picking up some pieces this offseason. So you don't win from a place where I feel like if you're going to going all in on the quarterback as if, you're going to get this quarterback and win a Super Bowl, I'm not even sure you're going to win your own division. You done gave up all this draft capital. You might come in 3rd in your own division. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not I don't know. I don't know if that's a good business decision from either the Broncos standpoint or for Russell Wilson's standpoint. Now, man, like he said, he want to be able to play against the best. Now, this will rejuvenate his career. Now, you can go in there, win this division, you know what I'm saying? Take your team to the playoffs, win some playoff games. Now you done rejuvenated. That talk about is Russell still elite? That goes away. But the challenge is going to be up there, and it's going to be hard for him to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson can do. I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce his name. Is it Van Fangio, the head coach? I think he's been put in the position to actually make some noise in that division. But like you said, he has really tough competition being with Patrick Mahomes, with Justin Herbert. I mean, with even the Las Vegas Raiders made a lot of noise in the NFL last season. So, but I think he strives with the competition. I mean, Russell Wilson doesn't flinch. Like, he's not afraid of competition. So I'm excited to see what he could stir up in Denver, the Mile High Club.
You're looking at Kyler Murray, who after he lost Hopkins wasn't looking too great there. You're looking at Garoppolo, and we all know about Garoppolo. He's good, but not great. You know what I'm saying? And then who else?
Who knows if he's going to be their starting quarterback going into next season? Who knows?
Yeah, and then you got you got Lance coming over. So I feel like you would have had a better shot staying at home. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even like re-signing there for another year or two and trying to take over that division and try to go into a whole new division and take over. We'll see. We got some breaking news in here saying that Von Miller just signed a 6-year deal, $120 million contract with the Buffalo Bills. I just saw that,
and I feel like I need to look that up to make sure that is legitimate. Was this posted by Adam Schefter? Like, who was saying that this happened? Because Buffalo Bills, that's some big news right there.
Von Miller.
That is super dangerous. Like I said, as long as you have a quarterback that's going to throw the ball down the field, and then you have a pass rusher that's going to put pressure on the opposing quarterback, that's how you win Super Bowls. Let's see. Von Miller, Adver Robinson on the top of free agency. All right. So maybe I'm going to check Adam Schefter's Twitter real quick to see if he was the one to because everything goes through Adam Schefter when it comes to free agency signings. He is
that Ian
the
Rappaport?
source. Was it Ian Rappaport that posted it? Okay, he's a pretty valid source as well. I'll say that. Ian Rappaport.
Then the Raiders got Chandler Jones. They already had a nice pass rush.
I did see that.
That's another one too.
I don't know.
What I'm saying, Russ.
Cardinals are not making a great case to keep Kyler Murray around. That's for sure. Because I'm not really sure what the heck they're doing. The Bills aren't done. Sources say they were signing former Buck tight end O.J. Howard. What? O.J. Howard to the Buffalo
look at the
Bills?
Breaking news coming in.
Oh my goodness. Live here on Bird Gang. What's up, everybody? So, yeah, the Bills quietly worked on a deal of Von Miller all day. The Rams did not stay quiet. Sean McVay is practically playing tugging at his heartstrings in the end of this Buffalo win. All right, Von Miller to a 6-year deal, $120 million. 6-year deal for this veteran. He's not a young cat.
He's retiring in Buffalo.
They're hiring, you said?
I think he's retiring in Buffalo for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, how old is he? I know he's in his 30s. He's like 33.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah, so.
But I kind of was on the fence of even wanting him.
32. Like, actually, his birthday's at the end of this month, so he's about to be 33. I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, first round draft.
Nice pick up anybody, really. Like, Von Miller had a hell of a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a hell of a playoff run. It was looking pretty good there. So I was hoping that Eagles even picked him up. And I know a lot of people say he's old, but he's still doing it at a high level. You know, like, that's a great – the Buffalo Bills, you already seen them. If they have Von Miller, if they had Von Miller in that last playoff game, when they were in that shootout, you know what I'm saying? They could have possibly won that one. That was an all-time classic.
Yeah, I was surprised that the Rams didn't make a fight to keep Von Miller, because obviously he just fit in right into their scheme. I mean, he came in like halfway through the season, and him and Aaron Donald they were two peas in a pod when it came to placing pressure and shutting down the run game. So I'm actually very surprised that the Rams didn't fight harder to keep Von Miller. But the Buffalo Bills is a good situation. I mean, a 6-year extension, that's a long time for the 33-year-old. He'll be 33 by the 26th of March of this month. So I'm a little bummed that Jerry Jones wasn't able to pull some magic out of the hat and sign Von Miller to replace Randy Gregory. But I'm happy for Miller. Buffalo Bills is a good situation. You're going to a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, he said they couldn't pay him. But, yeah, you know, like, you look at that, though, like, they knew that there's going to be hard times after that. You know, all those 1-year contracts, and that's what happens when you buy your Super Bowl. You know, you got all this talent, 1 year. It's like you can't re-sign everybody. You know, so I already seen that.
Unless it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because we saw all 22 starters return after the Super Bowl win in 2020. But yes, that's very unheard of.
But weren't they on?
Rare.
Most of them had no. How many of them were on 1-year deals?
Quite a few of them. We had Leonard Fournette on a 1-year deal. They had Antonio Brown on a 1-year deal. They had Chris Godwin on the franchise tag. They had Rob Gronkowski on the 1-year deal, and that's another question mark right now.
Yeah,
we haven't heard any buzz about Rob Gronkowski and whether or not he's going to return. I mean, I'm hoping that Brady could be like a little enticing, like, hey, I decided to come out of retirement, so maybe you should stick around. We get one more chance to get the Super Bowl ring. But that's kind of something that I've been like, man, is Rob going to come back? Like, what is he waiting on? Like, do
you want him back?
Do I want him back? I mean, now with
OJ out, you probably
Howard. Yeah, with O.J. Howard at the door, I know that Cameron Brate, the tight end, as well, is reconstructing his contract, as well as Shaquille Barrett, to free up some salary cap space for this season. But yes, Rob is a must to return. Yes, he hasn't been the same Rob that we saw when he was in New England, but we don't need him to play 60 minutes every game. We just need him to be the most impactful tight end on the field. And if that means only playing half the snaps, I'm okay with that, as long as we can keep him healthy.
Yeah, man. You said another breaking news. You said Niners signed D lineman Hassan Ridgeway from the Eagles. Okay, well, I'm not really worried about Ridgeway and the backups and that D line. The starters need to do something. But yeah, that's a good pickup for the Niners. Good luck with that one, I believe. But yeah, Ruth, I know you gotta get out here, got another show. Thanks again. I always love having you on here. Shout out to the 20 that are in here. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe to my girl Ruth the Truth. She is the truth, man. Anytime we can holler and wrap it up, we definitely gonna get on here. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at.
Hey guys, follow the NSPN Tampa Bay TV Facebook page. I'll be doing a lot of work with them, and I'll be covering the Bucks next season. Be their sideline reporter, multimedia journalism. Follow me on Twitter, Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. I'm pretty active on Twitter, but I'm even more active on Instagram. So if you guys want some sports content as well on Instagram, follow me at Ruth_the_truth with the number 1 at the end, and I will give you a follow back. I try to be super active on Instagram stories and just always trying to be as entertaining as I possibly can. But I appreciate the time here on Bird Game Podcast, and we shall catch up soon.
Oh yes, and if you guys have not subscribed to me, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that post notification bell, hit that like. We're on the road to 3K. You know, in our first 8 months, it's going good. Let's keep it rolling. And if you haven't subscribed to the network, BGN Sports Media, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. All links are inside the chat. And like I always say at the end of my videos, fly, Eagles, fly.
Peace out.
Till then, we out. Peace.